Here comes Robert Oppel. Yay. Can explain.
I don't think I can explain too much of that.
There's a lot of talk in that movie.
A lot of what? Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it, in our country that nudity, particularly male nudity, is viewed as threatening by most people, and I learned to really laugh at it and accept it and see it for its innocence when I made this film. And yeah, it's just cool to be here in California and the same kind of stomping ground that my uncle was in back in the late 70s. Unfortunately, he was murdered in 1979 by some interesting circumstances that the prison system will not let me know why, because the killer is in Pelican Bay State Prison and is willing to speak with me, but they're not letting me speak with him because I'm considered a security risk in a maximum security prison. So that's another thing that's kind of unveiled in this documentary that I'm trying to unravel. And it's just interesting when someone does something that's kind of humorous and lighthearted and fun, and it's viewed as threatening and they get killed for it. You know, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you explain after he streaked how he became a gay actor?
Yeah, this guy was not just like, you know, the streak of the Academy Awards and that was it. I mean, he did this for, you know, basically freedom. He streaked a city council meeting to protest an ordinance banning nudity at public beaches. He walked naked up behind, at the time, Police Chief Ed Davis, and he did Nixon's double victory sign, and he was given 4 months in prison for that. And he opened the first erotic art gallery in San Francisco in the late 70s. He was actually the first to display artists like Robert Mapplethorpe and Tom Freeman before they were well known. And yeah, can I just say thank you also to Dick and Jane and all the other artists, and you know, just for giving me this platform. I appreciate it. With that grumpy old bastard at the end of the bar that keeps booing us, you know, maybe you'd like to meet out in the parking lot later. I'll show you my art. But any other questions that anybody has?
Yeah, there's a question right there.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm just curious, what do you know about the guy who was murdered?
His name is Maurice Keenan. He's locked up in Pelican Bay State Prison after he escaped 3 times. And the first time he escaped, he walked out wearing plain clothes, which is also pretty coincidental. But I'm sure the cops had nothing to do with it, but that's what we explore in the documentary, you know?
Did he know your uncle? I mean, were they friends?
I don't know, and I'm not allowed to know that information because I can't get in to see him, even though that I wrote letters to him and he has agreed to speak with me, but prison system just ain't let me.
So you don't know anything else about him?
I mean, from what I've been told of the time period, you know, the guy was just a drug dealer, a hothead, and you know, he just came in, he shot my uncle in the head with a sawed-off shotgun, he tied up his girlfriend at the time, and another gentleman who was in the gallery in the back room, and they weren't killed. My uncle was the only one that was killed. And it took the cops quite a length of time to get there once he was killed, so that was nice.
So it could have been random, it wasn't necessarily...
Yeah, it could have been, but there's a lot of things leaning in the other direction, but yeah, absolutely, it could have been.
Any other questions? Well, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. I thought you said he was shot while he was murdered in prison.
No, the guy is in prison that shot him, but he was shot in his gallery. It was actually the first erotic art gallery in San Francisco. It was called Fayway Studios. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And last question, could you tell the audience what year you were born and how you found out about your namesake?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting story. I was born in 1979, and the year he was murdered, and I have the same name as him, Robert Oppel, and I was looking in a hall closet for an extension cord, and I found this rolled up tube of laminated newspaper articles, and it said like Robert Oppel murdered, gay activist, drug dealer, all this, you know, stuff, and I was like, that's me, you know. So I read, you know, into it, probably too young of an age, but I just became fascinated and intrigued by this, and I had to find out, you know, who is this guy, who is my namesake, you know, and I kept it kind of bottled up for a lot of years because I can't really ask my mom and stuff about it because it's her brother who was murdered, you know, so it's kind of painful for her. So I just, you know, it was my second film. I love filmmaking, and I think it's a great medium to explore and expose certain issues, and this just happened to be, you know, that one. And I think streaking is not that, as you said earlier. You know, I've streaked in front of about 400 people before, and it's very liberating and very innocent, and there's nothing threatening about it. So feel free to whip it out and continue to do that. So, thank you, guys.